What are you thinking about the Jets? Crowder and I have talked about this, and now Ezekiel Elliott ends up on the Patriots. Dalvin Cook now is on the Jets. Which one of those backs makes a bigger difference for the team that they went to?
Yeah, probably Dalvin Cook, because I think he's going to be the starter. Ezekiel Elliott is just going to be the backup to Ramondre Stevenson, a change of pace guy, a guy to spell Stevenson for a series or two, or maybe come in on third downs. So, with the Patriots, 1 week Ezekiel Elliott might get 15 carries for 100 yards, and the next week he might not even play. You never quite know how Belichick's going to use those running backs. So I think Dalvin Cook, I know the Jets have Breece Hall, but he's coming back from the ACL. And so that's why I think he didn't have much interest in the Patriots. The Patriots aren't offering a starting running back job. That's Ramondre Stevenson. The Jets had the opportunity, so that's why I think Dalvin Cook went there. And he wasn't out at practice today. He was in street clothes, but the fans were already chanting for him, and the Hard Knocks microphones were following him as he talked to Robert Saleh and Aaron Rodgers. So Dalvin Cook also going to be a big part of that Hard Knocks next week.
Do you buy into them? I was watching First Take on Monday, and Dan Orlovsky said he does tiers of teams, and they were talking specifically about the AFC. They're like, who is the upper echelon of the AFC? Who could challenge Kansas City? And Dan Orlovsky said, I have three teams in each tier. In tier 1, the highest tier in the AFC, he's got Kansas City, Buffalo, and the Jets. Do you buy into that?
So I am buying into the Jets. What I'm shocked to hear is that he doesn't have the Bengals up there. I think the Bengals are every bit as good as those other teams and are potentially one shove out of bounds from being in the back-to-back Super Bowls. I think Joe Burrow's one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. Their defense is no joke. I think Zach Taylor's got that team, playing with an edge. Whoops. Sorry, Siri's talking to my ear right now. Sorry about that.
What is Siri saying, by the way? What set Siri off?
In 7 miles, I have a turn I got to do.
I got you.
Going to be peeking at my phone every few miles. But, so the team I'm a little worried about is the Bills. I think they're in real danger of taking a step back this year. There's a lot of pressure on Sean McDermott and on this team after two pretty big failures the last couple of seasons. The Bills didn't make a ton of big moves in the offseason, really just bringing the same team back again. So I would have included the Bengals in that top tier. I'm buying the Jets. Even though it's not looking great right now, I think Rodgers is going to be a difference maker. And frankly, I think I might have some more questions about the Bills than I do the Jets.
That's interesting to me. So, and it's all because of Aaron Rodgers. Yes, that's it. They bring in Aaron Rodgers, and you're automatic. Like, no, I get it. I'm just saying, like, that's the thing that tips everything in their favor.
Well, yeah. I mean, they have an excellent defense, which I think plays a lot into it also. But yeah, without Rodgers, they're a 7-10 team. But with Rodgers, I think they're 12-5, 13-4, and going to be competing for the division, and I think are going to be dangerous come playoff time. So I'm buying into the hype. Now, the one issue is the offensive line. They're a mess right now. We all saw that on Hard Knocks last night. And it was the same thing today, like 6 or 7 sacks. Vita Vea was blowing up every single play in these joint practices. But, I don't know, they still have 3 weeks. They're going to get guys back healthy at some point soon. And Rodgers, with as smart as he is, they always say that a quarterback can be his best. So I think Rodgers is just going to be smart in a play where he can quickly neutralize the pass rush, spike the ball into the ground and live to see another day. I know the Jets' offensive line is an issue right now, but I don't know. I think they're going to get that fixed, and I really like how their team is built otherwise.
And then what about the Dolphins? Orlovsky had the Dolphins in Tier 2, along with the Bengals, by the way.
Yeah, Tier 2, I think, is definitely appropriate for the Dolphins. This is, once again, going to be one of the most explosive offenses in the NFL. And then you add in Vic Fangio, who you look at his history. Everywhere he goes as a defensive coordinator, there's immediate improvement as far as points allowed and yards. And if that trend continues, the Dolphins will definitely be dangerous. I don't know if you've heard this analysis before, but really it all comes down to Tua's health. I think I'm the first one to mention that.
You might
but
be. Yeah, we hadn't thought of
if
that.
he can stay healthy, that's a dangerous team. But if not, who knows what the Dolphins are.
They were talking today, a lot of the social media posts from the Dolphins writers who are in Houston for the joint practices. It's about Christian Wilkins. Mike McDaniel talked about Christian Wilkins wanting a new contract. He's not participating in drills. He doesn't want to get injured. But it was very friendly. I mean, Wilkins is on the sideline, and he's cheering for the team. And it seems to me like this gets done. I don't think there's any question they value him. But that's one of the reasons that they wouldn't throw a bunch of money at Dalvin Cook, right? They've got to get Christian Wilkins taken care of.
I guess. I can't see one lead. I mean, Christian Wilkins is going to get a big bag of cash. And Dalvin Cook, I mean, I know the Jets gave him $7 million, but that's still not that much in the grand scheme of things. And I haven't seen the actual particulars. But, I mean, if the Dolphins really wanted to, they could have extended themselves for Dalvin Cook. They don't need to. Mike McDaniel's system is just so on fire that you don't need to spend big money on some running back. You can pick up a Raheem Mostert, and he'll be a solid addition. You just need speed and guys who can hit the wide zone for the most part. So I don't blame the Dolphins. They're part of this trend now, not paying for running backs. Mike McDaniel, with his scheme, he can create all the space he needs in the run game, and they don't need to be spending money on Dalvin Cook.
Right, but Ben, would it be fair to say Dalvin Cook could be the difference between the Dolphins winning the AFC East or winning a playoff game first time in 20 years and not? Like, couldn't he be that effective?
Maybe. I'm not a big believer in running backs, and no offense to them, but I just think running backs are all dependent on, are the guys up front creating space for them? Do you have a good quarterback that can, reduce the defenders in the box? The running back is so dependent on everyone else that, and guys like, I look at the Falcons last year, they had Tyler Algier, 5th round pick, was put in the right situation. And he rushes for 1,000 yards. So I don't see running back as being a real impact position. And Dalvin Cook is only going to be as good as the guys in front of him. And, if you could put someone else in his position and probably get similar production. So I don't see this as any big failing for the Dolphins. Frankly, they probably did a good thing by not spending $7 million on a running back.
Ben Volin from the Boston Globe is with us. I mentioned at the beginning of the show, I am just marveling at Mike McDaniel's ability to wear a hoodie in the hottest of hot weather. Friday night preseason game, I was at Hard Rock Stadium. It was hot as hell. He's out there on the sidelines in a hoodie. Today, practice outside in Houston. It's a pretty hot city. He's wearing a hoodie. And I marvel that he can wear a hoodie and he doesn't seem to be too affected by it. But I did have a bunch of people text me that Bill Belichick wears a hoodie outside so that he knows how hot his players are. Is that true?
Yeah, sometimes it's a cutoff hoodie.
Right, he
likes
cuts
those
the
hoodie
sleeves
sweatshirts
off,
with the
right?
sleeves. Yeah, sometimes it's a full hoodie, sometimes it's not. I mean, you see that with a lot of coaches. I was at the Bills camp a few weeks ago, and Sean McDermott is decked head to toe in long sleeve black clothes. Robert Saleh, same thing out here at the Jets today. I think it's for these guys, they don't want to get sunburned, so I think it's for sun protection. And B, honestly, I think it's good leadership. Yeah, if your players are out there, wearing helmets and pads and sweating it out, I think it's good leadership for McDaniel and for these coaches to be, wearing the hoodie sweatshirt and to sweating it out also, and to show their players that we're not going to let this heat get on top of us, and we're going to show some toughness today. So honestly, I think it's a good mental thing from Mike McDaniel to show his players, and it's probably good leadership.
I would like to see him in a Hawaiian shirt.
The Andy Reid special.
Yeah, exactly. Like a Bum Phillips, I'm dating myself again, a Bum Phillips cowboy hat and a Hawaiian shirt. Or Jerry Glanville. How about Jerry Glanville? Is that more timely than Bum Phillips? Probably. Anyway.
You're still pretty much dating yourself with Jerry Glanville.
Do you know either of those guys, Solana, Bum Phillips, or Jerry Glanville?
Man, I'm trying to Google, but no, I have no idea who either of those
Tom
guys are.
Landry? Do you know Tom Landry?
No.
You don't know Tom Landry?
I do not.
It's really, it's like a slap across the face. I found out yesterday, Ben, I am older than Busta Rhymes and George Murison.
George Murison. Wow.
Yeah. How about that?
I used to love. Remember that commercial that smells like cabbage, George?
Legendary.
He was the best, man.
Legendary. But Solana doesn't even know who George Murison is. Busta Rhymes he knows,
goodness.
but he doesn't know George Murison. Yeah. Well.
Solana, do you play the Immaculate Grid game? I feel like if you don't know these old guys, you wouldn't. It'd be tough for you to play
love that game.
Ben, I tried 2 or 3 times and had to tap out because I don't know any of these old guys.
It is so great because all I do is guess guys from the 80s and the NBA and the NFL version. And, you get to guess as many times as you want. It is such a great game. I love that. I tweeted out, Ben Volin with it. I tweeted out, any Dolphins media member in Houston covering these joint practices who doesn't go to Whataburger is dead to me. Do you agree with that sentiment?
Yeah. Oh, man. I love Whataburger, and especially because they put the jalapenos on the burger.
And they got the spicy ketchup, too. I mean, they just they take care of the customer, no?
Patrick Mahomes, I'm pretty sure, brought the franchise to the Kansas City area.
Oh, is that so?
Wow.
Yeah, they didn't have any there, and so I think he bought a few franchises and brought it to the Kansas City area.
Great move, because Whataburger, I tweeted that out. Whataburger liked my tweet, and so then I tweeted at them, open one in Boca Raton, but I haven't heard back yet. All right.
Let's be honest. You're hoping they'll say, hey, here's a card that'll give you free Whataburger for life.
There's not one near me, unfortunately. I'm making friends with Whataburger. I think the closest one is Tallahassee. It's way too long a drive for me. Anyway, Ben Volin, read his work in the Boston Globe, bostonglobe.com, Boston Globe app. You can follow him on Twitter as well. Thank you as always, Ben.
All right, guys. Thanks a lot.
There you go. Ben Volin talking a little NFL, Whataburger, George Murison, and Tom Petty. Like to cover it all there.